Today we're going to make an apricot cobbler, and here's my recipe. So tonight I'm going to be making an apricot cobbler with dinner. And so these are some apricots that I froze over the summer, or I guess last spring, from my apricot tree. And I'm going to make that into a really delicious cobbler. So while the apricots are starting to thaw out, I'm going to put a half a cup of sugar over them. And I'm just going to kind of leave that on top of it and just let that continue to thaw until I'm ready to make my cobbler. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to melt a half of a cup of butter at 375. And then in the meantime, we're going to get all of our batter recipe prepared. Now this couldn't be an easier recipe. All we're going to do is add equal amounts of everything to make our cobbler batter. So I'm going to do 1.5 cups of flour. I've got a half a cup right here. I've already added a half a cup of sugar to the apricot, so all I'm going to do is add 1 cup of sugar to my batter mixture. And then I'm going to put 1.5 cups of milk, or you can use buttermilk, and I'm going to pour that right into the bowl. And I'm going to add this, and that's all there is to it. I'm just going to give it a stir to make it into a little batter. And I'm also going to add about a teaspoon to a tablespoon of vanilla, however much you prefer in yours. We actually like vanilla a lot. So I'm just going to give this a stir. It's going to be very loose. There's not going to be a lot of thickness to this. And I'm actually going to get a whisk and whisk it together. I just want this nice and creamy. I don't want a bunch of lumps from the flour in the batter. And as soon as the butter's melted, we're just going to add this to the butter, and then we're going to pour our peaches right on, our apricots right on top. But you can make it with peaches or berries or rhubarb, whatever it is that you have. You just want it to equal 4 cups of fruit. So there we go. I'm ready to go. As soon as my butter's melted, I'll bring you right back. So now to the melted butter, we're going to add our batter mixture, like so. And you don't need to mix it up, but I usually just take some of the butter along the edges and try to get that more in the middle. Like so. And then you're just going to take your apricots and put those right over the top. Now remember, these already have some of the sugar on them, so they're going to make it a little bit extra sweet, but still it's the same amount you have in the whole recipe. Just make sure to get all the sugar out so all the numbers are the same when you're cooking it. So I'm just going to make sure that all the cobbler has some apricots in all corners of it, like so. And then I'm going to put it in the oven for about 30 minutes. I'll check it in about 25 minutes, and all of the apricot should be covered, and we'll look back then and see how it looks. So this is my finished apricot cobbler taken right out of the oven. We've just finished dinner, so I decided to cut my husband and I each a piece of the cobbler. My husband is not really crazy about ice cream on his cobblers, so I'm going to make his with just the warm cobbler. And I've decided to put a little bit of vanilla ice cream on mine. Now, as I said earlier in the video, you can actually make a cobbler with just about any amount of fruit. And this recipe takes about 4 cups of prepared fruit. So in this case, I believe I did take the skins off of the fruit. I pitted it, cored it, and just froze them exactly like they were. So you can see I'm spooning the cobbler into the bowl, and then I'm going to put some ice cream right on the top of it. I kind of like it to melt on the warm cobbler. But you can make this with any of the fruits that you have off of your stone fruit trees. You can even make an apple cobbler. Now with the apples, you're probably going to have to cook them for maybe 10 or 15 minutes first. But it's very easy to do, and I mean, it's just a great summer dessert, but here we're eating it in the winter, enjoying the summer fruit. So if you like this content, I hope that you'll give it a try. I'm just taking a little bite for you. It's very, very good. I really enjoyed it. In fact, I had a second piece. But thanks for watching, and I hope you'll subscribe.